I like to be the villain a little bit.
Mahomes backpedaling. Watson! What a throw! What a throw by Mahomes!
If winning football games makes you a villain, we're going to keep going out there and doing it.
Make a diving and tipped at Mahomes, who tiptoes inside the 10. Still knocked out. Oh, what a run! Out of this world!
He's not a villain, but the reality is that he prioritizes winning.
From a beloved superhero still in his 20s with 3 Super Bowl rings and 2 MVPs, to the NFL's most controversial figure, hated for his endless winning, this is how Patrick Mahomes became the face of the NFL villain. Now, because Mahomes and the Chiefs are so dominant, some people have started pointing fingers. The blame seems to be on the refs.
So who is your favorite ref?
All the refs are great, man. And all the refs are great. They do the best they can.
Is there one that you give a Christmas card to every year?
Not that I can remember. I'll have to talk to some of my teammates and just try to figure it out.
Some fans say the NFL is rigging games to help the Chiefs win, and that Mahomes is cruising to another top seed in the AFC despite not playing his best. It's all just noise though. People are going to hate when you win a lot. And when you're as good as Mahomes, just like Michael Jordan or Tom Brady, that hate only grows. Think about it. People still bring up Jordan's famous push-off from the 1997-1998 NBA Finals, almost 30 years later. Why? Because he was one of the greatest to ever play, and people got tired of seeing him win. That's exactly how Mahomes is shaping up to be. If you think about LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Alabama Crimson Tide, or Tom Brady, they all went through a similar journey. In the beginning, they were seen one way, but over time, the way people viewed them changed. LeBron even talked about this in 2011, saying he was struggling with the villain label. He said, "I played the game fun, joyful, and let my game do all the talking. And I got away from that. That's what I lost last year." Speaking of the villain label on Mahomes, take a look at the game-changing field goal block against the Denver Broncos. He ran onto the field doing an airplane celebration. Sounds harmless, right? But then remember that time during the game when a hot mic caught Mahomes asking his right tackle to let him know when a defender was coming at him?
Can you let me know if he gets close?
No big deal, right? And don't forget that incredible 33-yard run he made against the San Francisco 49ers. Epic, right? But here's the thing. Each of those moments was blown out of proportion. Mahomes' celebration against the Broncos got criticized because people thought he needed too much help from his team to keep the undefeated season alive, even though that's what a team does, right? The moment with his tackle, some fans misunderstood it, thinking Mahomes was asking the referee to warn him about a defender coming. And because of all the conspiracy theories about officials trying to help the Chiefs, some fans even called for an NFL investigation. Even the awesome rushing play by Mahomes, people couldn't stop talking about whether he was pretending to go out of bounds and then cutting back to make a huge gain when defenders backed off. Because let's be honest, no one wants to hit Mahomes and risk drawing a penalty. Some folks even started calling him names.
It is the biggest BS that if you are a QB, that you're faking running out of bounds and then you stay in.
When someone rises to greatness, there's always a crowd of haters ready to stir things up. Mahomes has always been a hero, the Iron Man of the NFL, but now he's stepping into his villain phase. Maybe he's turning into the Dr. Doom of football. But no matter what people say outside of the Chiefs locker room, Mahomes is focused on taking care of his teammates. He's helping them stay strong and perfect just like he is. And with one more win, he'll have his 4th title. There's plenty of time for Mahomes to cement his place as one of the greatest players ever and maybe even become America's favorite villain. Notwithstanding, this dude has shown how good he is from the beginning. See, back in 2018, as a second-year player, Patrick Mahomes threw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, winning the MVP award like it was nothing. Since then, he's been the face of the NFL, and honestly, it's been his world. He's just watching. The guy hasn't lost a playoff game since 2022 and holds a ridiculous 17-3 record in the postseason. He's won Super Bowls with explosive offenses, shaky ones, and even while limping around on one leg. No matter the situation, Mahomes delivers. That's the thing. 8 teams have won back-to-back championships, but no team has ever won 3 straight Super Bowls. Mahomes and the Chiefs are just one win away from making that happen. And sure, the Patriots have more rings overall, but their success was spread out. What Mahomes is doing right now is unmatched and unreal. Looking at it, Kansas City Chiefs are about to play in their 5th Super Bowl in 6 years, something even the legendary New England Patriots Patriots never pulled off. These two teams, the Chiefs and the Patriots, are just built differently. No matter what happens in the regular season, you just know they'll be in the mix when it matters most, whether that's the playoffs, the championship game, or like right now, the Super Bowl. And here's the wild part. Kansas City wasn't even at their best season. Their 11-6 record in 2023 was their worst regular season since 2017, back when Alex Smith was still the quarterback. Patrick Mahomes' numbers dipped, throwing for 4,183 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions, which tied for the fourth most in the league. Their offense wasn't the usual high-flying machine either, averaging just 21.8 points per game, ranking only 15th in the NFL. Plus, for the first time in Mahomes' career, they wouldn't have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So naturally, all the analysts and so-called experts thought this was the year to take down the dynasty. They called the Chiefs vulnerable, beatable, and not the same team. But what they forgot is that Mahomes in January is a different beast. The guy has an extra gear that most players can only dream of. And while everyone was busy talking about the offense, Kansas City's defense quietly became a monster, led by Chris Jones in the trenches and L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie in the secondary. The Chiefs' defense went from ranked 16 in 2022 to the second best in the league in 2023. During the regular season, teams could barely score against the Chiefs, averaging just 17 points per game. Then came the playoffs, and Kansas City's defense somehow got even scarier, holding their opponents to just 15 points per game. The warning signs were there from the very start. In the wild card round, the Chiefs, who had looked shaky all season, completely shut down the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa never stood a chance, and Miami managed just 7 points. It was a statement win, and the rest of the league should have paid attention. But the real shock was when Kansas City's offense suddenly came alive. Rookie Rashee Rice exploded for a season-high 130 yards, while Travis Kelce, who had been pretty quiet in the last few games, showed up with 71 yards. And that was just the beginning. A week later, Kelce turned it up even more, racking up 75 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Mahomes finds Kelce. Mahomes. Kelce. Mahomes. Kelce.
The connection between him and Mahomes, already one of the best in NFL history, went to another level, like it always does when the playoffs hit.
Mahomes with a good fake down the field. He finds Kelce.
From there, the Chiefs tore through the AFC. They rolled into Buffalo and crushed the Bills' Super Bowl dreams again. Then they marched into Baltimore, took down the Ravens in their own stadium, and claimed yet another AFC championship. And to top it all off, they took down San Francisco in the Super Bowl, securing back-to-back titles. At this point, there was no denying it. Patrick Mahomes wasn't just a problem, he was the problem for the rest of the league.
Down, first and goal, pass, open, touchdown, and dives, looking for somewhere to go, and he finds his man Watkins.
His first 2 Super Bowls were won with pure offensive firepower, outscoring everyone in sight. But in 2023, he had to evolve into a new style of playing. He had to win differently. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was a game manager. And when I say game manager, I don't mean it in a boring, play it safe kind of way. I mean it in a legendary, mastermind, football genius kind of way. We already know Mahomes is one of the most dangerous quarterbacks of all time. But when defenses started playing him differently after Tyreek Hill left in 2022, he didn't panic, he adapted. Instead of launching deep bombs all game, Mahomes adjusted his style. His average depth of target dropped to 6.8 yards in 2023, ranking 28th among quarterbacks. But that didn't mean he lost his magic. It meant he was playing smarter. He still had the rocket arm, but now he was leaning into his other superpower, his brain. Offensive coordinator Matt Nagy explained it perfectly. He said Mahomes understood that with an elite defense keeping teams out of the end zone, he didn't have to drop 40 points a game to win. Instead, he played smart, controlled football, taking what the defense gave him and extending plays until something great opened up. That's the evolution of Mahomes. Early in his career, he won by overwhelming defenses with big plays. Now he wins by making every right decision, keeping the Chiefs in total control, and it makes them nearly unstoppable. Just like Tom Brady, as long as you have Mahomes, you're always in the game. If you have a great offense, he'll light up the scoreboard. If you give him a struggling offense, he'll find a way to win anyways. It doesn't matter the situation.
Go Blue, Adams, hot!
Again a fake. Again a quick throw. Caught at the 40. Got the Bills. 30-yard line.
Mahomes will always figure it out. The guy has mastered the art of playing exactly as well as he needs to, especially when he needs to. And that's why the Chiefs just keep winning. Take the Broncos game, for example. Mahomes didn't have his best performance, but guess what? The dude still found a way to win. And while he didn't actually block the game-winning field goal himself, let's be real, it kind of felt like he did. At this point, it's like Mahomes is doing everything for his team. That's the thing about the 2023 Chiefs. They weren't even stressing over the regular season anymore. They just coasted through, waiting for the playoffs to change the atmosphere. And when it mattered most, they walked into hostile territory, took down two of their biggest AFC rivals on the road, and then handled business against the 49ers in the Super Bowl. And then in 2024, the same thing happened all over again. Kansas City finished with a 15-2 record, locking up the top seed in the AFC.
15 consecutive wins for the Chiefs. 9-0 record for Kansas City this year.
But let's be honest, it never really felt like they were giving 100%. Their point differential was just 59, ranking 11th in the league. For comparison, Detroit led the NFL in this category with a ridiculous 163-point gap. Even with 15 wins, 11 of them came in one-score games, and some of those were just plain wild. Remember Week 10 against Denver? The Chiefs blocked a game-winning field goal to escape with a win. Then in Week 13, Aiden O'Connell literally fumbled a snap in field goal range, handing Kansas City another victory. Yet, despite looking sluggish in the regular season, finishing 15th in points and 14th in passing yards, the Chiefs still secured the #1 seed. And just like clockwork, the moment the playoffs rolled around, they snapped back into their dominant form. Because that's what Mahomes and the Chiefs do. When the lights get bright, they deliver. Even though Patrick Mahomes' stats in 2024 don't look as crazy as in past years, his greatness still shines through. He pulled off 7 game-winning drives, more than anyone else in the league. The next closest, Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold, with just 5. Looking around the league, a lot of talented quarterbacks have their playoff struggles haunting them. Lamar Jackson, a multi-time MVP, still has a 3-5 playoff record, and Josh Allen, he's known for losing to Mahomes in January 4 times in a row. So what are your thoughts? Is Patrick a superhero or a supervillain? With the 59th Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Eagles coming up on Sunday, February 9th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time at the legendary Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, it's going to be a game to remember. Make sure to watch and make sure you subscribe and like this video.